In the At Your Beck and Call segment tonight, the G-Man spent his entire program this afternoon analyzing the situation in Egypt, and here he is to bring us up to date. So you're not happy about any of this, right?
No, I think we're actually possibly on the witnessing the Archduke Ferdinand moment. Archduke Ferdinand was the guy who was killed, shot, that a few months later started the First World War. I think we're in real dangerous territory.
All right, let's connect the dots here. So Mubarak, bad guy, right?
Bad guy.
Okay,
really
30 years we've been dealing with this guy.
And we're in bed with him.
Right, and we pay him $1.5 billion a year.
Second largest
aid. And most of it goes to the military, but it goes back to his pocket, a lot of it. Okay, and he does us favors. I mean, he's against the jihadists. He hasn't caused any trouble with Israel. He takes some of the Al-Qaeda captives and dunks them in the water, whatever he does to them. And he generally cooperates with the United States on a global initiative. Meanwhile, he brutalizes his own people, and they hate his guts.
Right, okay. And they hate us for it. You know, people, this is the one thing that I think everybody gets wrong about the United States. They always say, why do they hate the United States? And Bush used to say, they hate our freedom. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. They envy our freedom, and they wish that we stood for freedom. Can you imagine somebody coming over to your house all the time and saying, you know what, I'm against overeating, and they're raiding your refrigerator all the time?
You're making a mistake, and here's the mistake you're making. We had the same exact predicament when the Shah of Iran was overthrown.
Yes.
Bad guy, brutalizes people, but cooperated with the United States. What took his place, the Ayatollah Khomeini, was 1,000 times worse than the Shah of Iran.
And what is going to take the place of Mubarak is going to be, I'm telling you, it is going to be very similar to the Iranian situation.
Well, then that's a catastrophe.
Yes, it is.
That's a catastrophe.
Yes,
I'm not sure that's going to happen.
I hope
because the Egyptian military is different than the Iranian military was. All right, it's more powerful, it's more secular. But when you have a choice of two individuals, all right, the Ayatollah Khomeini or the Shah of Iran, you got to go with the Shah of Iran, as bad as he is. And in Egypt, it was almost the same thing.
We didn't do these kinds of things before the progressive movement. George Washington said, stay out of other people's business.
It wasn't a global economy. It wasn't a world war threat.
I know that nobody thinks this would work, but we've never tried it.
Tried what?
No, be Switzerland. Why not be Switzerland?
Well, we did try it, and you're wrong again. Before World War II, there was a tremendous movement in this country to stay out of the European war.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
It was led by Ambassador Joseph Kennedy.
It was Woodrow Wilson.
This is World War II.
World War I, they were saying the same thing. Okay. Stay out of it, stay out of it.
There was a big movement to stay out.
Right.
Okay? And then you saw what happened. It was, it was a catastrophe.
The reason why it was a catastrophe is because we meddled in people's business, and we told England to sink their ships in World War I.
If we had not, stay away from World War I. I'm about World War II is the best example. You're proving my point. Okay, we tried to stay out of World War II. All right, majority of Americans didn't want to get involved with Hitler. All right, and it was a disaster.
I understand that, but what you're not taking into account is that is what the average person thinks. Just like the average person on the street of Cairo thinks they're swept up in some freedom movement. It is not about freedom. It is being orchestrated by the Marxist communists and primarily also the Muslim Brotherhood.
Okay, so now let's deal with the situation that we have in Egypt, because this is important to every American. I don't think most Americans understand how important this is. If the jihadists take over, the Muslim Brotherhood, then there's going to be a fight with Israel, number one. Okay, that's going to go up.
Yes.
All right? And Al-Qaeda is going to have another sanctuary. That's number two. If they don't take over, and if the army takes over, there's still going to be ultra-violence, because that's what those people do. They try to destabilize their society. So what is Barack Obama and the administration supposed to do? Throw in with whom? There isn't any powerful, moderate, democratic voice.
If you're looking for, you're right. And if you're looking for an easy answer, Bill. I don't have one.
So then how can we criticize? Look, earlier in the program we had Mary Catherine Ham giving Obama a C, and Mark Lamont Hill, talk about
I'm not criticizing the administration.
Give him a D minus.
Excuse me, I'm not criticizing the administration. Have you heard me say anything about the administration?
But I'm asking you what you would do if you were in charge.
Yeah,
what you would do.
I'm telling you now that the whole, and this is consistent with everything that I've said for the last 2 years, the system is broken.
Which system?
The entire system, the way we have played the globe, the way
so you want to be Switzerland. You want to sit it out.
You're going to have to, here's what's going to happen, Bill. I understand. Mubarak is a brutal, ugly guy. I don't want to be in bed with him. I don't want to be in bed with him. On the other hand, I agree with you. If the jihadists get in charge,
they're worse.
It's awful, and the dominoes will fall all the way. They'll ripple all the way up and all the way over.
You want to take a Swiss posture and basically let the rest of the world sort out their problems. But here's why that can't ever happen. Because the jihad, which is the main threat in the world today, would you agree with that? The jihad?
Yes.
Okay.
The jihad coupled with the communist socialist movement.
I see the jihad as more of a problem than a communist socialist movement. All right? They're going to come after us even if we sit it out.
Absolutely.
They're going to come after us.
Yes.
And the stronger they get overseas.
How much money do you have? How much money do you have?
About what? What is that?
How much money? How much longer? How many more? Do you realize
we can't fight the way we fought in Afghanistan and Iraq?
We can't fight.
I agree with you 100%. We have to do surgical stuff, and we have to be more ruthless than we've been.
But we also have to stand for something.
We do stand for democracy. We do stand for that. We just don't have in some places.
How are we putting him in the second largest position of getting our money? He is torturing people with our money.
I understand that.
And if you want rendition, it's totally fine with me.
30 years.
Think about it.
30 years. You had Carter. You had Clinton. 2 years Obama. Reagan. They had nowhere else to go in that country. I've been there. It's chaos. There's nowhere else to go.
I understand that. But everybody is blaming us because we want oil over there. We don't want oil.
There's no oil in Egypt.
They
just transport it.
The region.
Now there's some validity to that.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is.
No, there's not.
Because
we're redistributing the wealth. We have enough resources here.
Next week we'll get to the oil business. But I disagree with you. I don't think we can be a neutral Switzerland and survive.
I want you to know this. I want you to know this. I don't think we can adopt that posture and survive either.
Right.
I think we need to progress to that posture.
Right.
Go back.
Don't use that progress word.
I know. Reverse what they've done to us.
Very frightening. Glenn Beck, everybody.